Here we go. Welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, as always, I appreciate all of the real ones for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, I'll tell you what, this 2025 season has been something. It's been a roller coaster ride. Philadelphia continues to make things interesting here in this 2025 campaign. And it's been a maddening season as well. And you think back to that loss last night, Monday Night Football, heartbreaker in overtime to the Los Angeles Chargers. There was some good. There was some bad. As far as the good for Philadelphia last night, got to be honest, I do kind of like some of the new offensive wrinkles that they debuted with some of the intricacies they did on the offensive side of the football. I thought the Eagles moved the ball pretty well on offense. They just couldn't really capitalize in the red zone, or as has been the story all season long for Philadelphia, they shoot themselves in the foot with mistakes, penalties, and then obviously last night, those 5 turnovers. It was good to see Saquon Barkley get going a little bit, went over 100 yards for just the second time all season long, had that 52-yard dash to the crib. This Eagles defense certainly balled out, and you think about some of the young core pieces on the defensive side of the ball under Vic Fangio. Jordan Davis had one of the best games of his career. Cooper DeJean was on Ladd McConkey like Velcro. And Jalen Hunt dominated. And Jalen Hunt is a player who last year was drafted in the 3rd round out of Houston Baptist, was a safety at Cornell, made the switch to edge rusher, looked at as a developmental player, but in his rookie year, he developed so quickly. He was tremendous throughout that playoff run. And to start this year, he couldn't get on the board as far as sacks go, but look at what he's done in his last 7 games. 4.5 sacks, 13 quarterback hits, 2 picks, 1 forced fumble, a pass breakup, and one of those picks, a pick 6, showing off that DB background. And then Jordan Davis last night, he said it, without Jalen Carter, out with those shoulder procedures on both of his shoulders, it's up to me, Moro Ajomo, Ty Robinson, and others to really step up, and Jordan Davis came to play. So too did Byron Young, who I thought flashed and popped on a couple of pass rushing snaps. But for the big boy JD, 6 pressures, a career high in a game for him, 5 tackles, 4 hurries, 2 TFLs, a sack and a half. And Cooper DeJean put together rep after rep that every single coach should be showing their DBs if they're in that DB room, or if you're a defensive coordinator somewhere trying to develop some slot corners, because the technique that he displayed in some of those reps against Ladd McConkey, who is an excellent player, going stride for stride, using his physicality, using his ball skills, turning around to address the football, it was so textbook and so awesome to watch. That's the good with that Eagles loss last night to the Chargers. The bad, worst game of Jalen Hurts' career. This offense continues to have no flow, no rhythm, no consistency. Something will work, and the Eagles might find something during the game, but then Kevin Patullo doesn't go back to it. I still think he stinks as the play caller for this team, and what an uninspiring move it's ended up being for Nick Sirianni to promote his boy as OC. It's another internal promotion at OC like Brian Johnson in 2023 that hasn't worked out, hasn't panned out, and it has fallen flat on its face as far as the decision goes, because Patullo is not cut out to be the play caller for this offense. Just not good enough. And you watch these games and the play calling sequencing, the lack of play calling feel, the game calling just doesn't make a lot of sense. A.J. Brown had 3 costly drops last night, which turned out to be a 17-point swing. And I hated how some runs to Saquon Barkley worked, especially to the left side, but he didn't get enough carries. And then after that 52-yard run to the end zone, it's like we didn't see Saquon again. The Eagles went pass happy from there on out. Jalen Hurts threw it 40 times in the game last night. He's 0-6 in his career when he has to throw it 40 or more times. So on one end for the offense, the scheme is the scheme. It's not going to change here as we go into week 15. The quarterback is the quarterback. Some of these plays are called because of what the quarterback wants, but to get around some of the quarterback's weaknesses. Another concern that I have with this Eagles offense is that this offensive line isn't getting any better, and I don't think there are any solutions until these guys can get healthy. Landon Dickerson, Jurgens looking like they're playing at 60, 70%. It'll be nice to get Lane Johnson back. The Eagles have gone 0-3 without him, but Jordan Mailata has also struggled all year. I know that Tyler Steen has done a decent job, but I need a mauler at that right guard spot. I think this offseason, Howie Roseman needs to bring back Mekhi Becton, who's already unhappy with the Los Angeles Chargers. All that being said, though, I have this weird feeling coming out of the game from last night. Look, I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. Those of you who watched the watch party, you saw me crash out with my biggest on-air crash out of my career when Jake Elliott missed that field goal because the frustrations boiled to the surface, and then I exploded because this team can't do anything right at a consistent rate. But coming out of that game last night, I'm like, they moved the ball. I like some of the concepts. Jalen Hurts did make some nice throws. The throw that he made to DeVonta Smith on that 3rd and 16 in overtime, one of the best throws of his career. Anticipation across the middle of the field. I know that when targeting the middle area of the field, Hurts got picked twice. But if you stop the turnovers, and you're not going to turn it over 5 times in every game, and you continue to have some of the offensive concepts and wrinkles and creativity that we saw last night, and Nick Sirianni is going to continue to have more say with this offense, can this offense get a little bit better and improve? Now, the big question with this team right now is that one. Can the Eagles turn around this sinking ship? Because right now, it's like the Titanic. It's inevitable. I mean, it feels like it's just going down, and you can rearrange the chairs on the deck, but it's not going to matter. But can the Eagles turn this thing around? We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But first, today's Philadelphia Eagles now sponsored by the DraftKings Sportsbook. Producer Chip, he's my right-hand man and producing this show, but he's also the host of our 76ers channel. DraftKings is a sponsor on that channel. And since it's Philadelphia 76ers now, Philadelphia Eagles now, we wanted to plug DraftKings for our wonderful viewers here as well. And here's Chip with more.
We're only a few weeks in, and the NBA season is already wild. Stars are going off, rookies are making noise, and the action doesn't stop. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is where you can get in on all of it. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, bet just $5 and get $200 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SixersChat. That's code SixersChat. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Chip's picks looking ahead to this weekend's action. Bills -1.5 on the road against the New England Patriots. Huge game. I want to see how the Patriots play, finally getting tested. Chargers money line on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a big game for both teams as well. Broncos money line against the Green Bay Packers. That game in Mile High. Odds and lines subject to change. And you see the odds there. Chip's picks coming at you. Bet $5, get $200 if you win. Use that code SixersChat. So can the Eagles turn this sinking ship around? I think one of the things that the Eagles just need is to play loose, play confident, play freely, enjoy the game of football. That was Nick Sirianni's message to his team going into that Chargers game, and I think we saw a little bit of that, but I still feel as though on offense, not on defense, this team is playing tight. Well, you did some better things against the Chargers. Can you work off of that, knowing they were a really good opponent and one of the top defenses in football, and carry that momentum into this game at home against the Las Vegas Raiders? And let's just say that the Eagles have an offensive explosion, and they put up 30, 40 points against the Raiders because they have failed to score more than 21 points in any game since the bye week. Let's say they dump truck the Raiders. They get it going offensively. The confidence gets up. They find an identity. Some of these concepts, they are very beneficial to the offense, and the Eagles start to find their groove and their confidence. Then they go on the road. They play the Washington Commanders on Saturday, and they're like, you know what? We found something. We're feeling ourselves. The Commanders would love to spoil our season, but Eagles fans going to take over Washington Stadium, and the Eagles win that game as well. Then Philadelphia's like, all right, we've won 2 games in a row. We're up to 10-5 on the year, and everybody's going to be taking the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo to beat Philadelphia. This is our litmus test to see if we can be a Super Bowl contender this year, because the talent is there, but can this version of the Eagles get to the promised land? Then the Eagles fare well or beat the Buffalo Bills. And then they come back home against the Commanders. What if they win that game? Like, it is not out of the realm of possibility for the Eagles to run the table, win their final 4 games, and turn this thing around, because last night you did see some glimpses of that. Now, you look at the NFC playoff picture right now. I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to get the number 1 seed. I don't think they're going to be able to get the number 2 seed. But you get that 3 spot, you win the division, you hold off Dallas, you host a playoff game, and really anything can matter or happen after that, right? And so you look at the playoff percentages following the Monday night loss for the Eagles. They still have a 92% chance to make the playoffs. Packers are ahead of them at 94%. Rams, 98% chance to make the playoffs. If the Eagles beat the Raiders, they have a 95% chance to make the dance. If they lose against the Raiders, it's going to start to get a little bit hairy, especially if the Cowboys win their game, but you still have an 80% chance. Unfortunately for the Eagles, they have shot themselves in the foot with a lot of these close losses, with this 3-game losing streak, by not playing well, that they now have no opportunity, really, to get the number 1 seed in the conference. A 1% chance, according to the NFL.com model, of getting that number 1 seed. They would need a lot of help. Now, the Rams do play, coming up, the Lions and the Seahawks. The Packers have the Broncos and the Bears. But one of those Rams game is against Seattle. And so if Seattle wins that game, that could mess with the opportunity to get the number 1 seed. And when the Eagles were 8-2 prior to this 3-game losing streak, they did have the number 1 spot in the NFC. So there is still life with this season, and I don't feel like the Eagles have completely given up on it. I still think that the locker room vibes are in a spot where they think this thing can be salvaged. What the Eagles must do, even though things are starting to get very, very interesting here, win this division so that you can host a playoff game at Lincoln Financial Field. You win that playoff game, and it is a new season for Philadelphia, and anything can happen when you're in the dance. And the game of football is different once you're in the dance, where you can be carried by your defense if your offense can make some of those improvements. Now, of course, Philadelphia going to have to hold off the Dallas Cowboys. And we looked at that Eagles remaining schedule. The Cowboys dropping that game against the Lions did the Eagles a lot of favors. Can you imagine if Dallas won that game? Philadelphia lost against the Chargers? What we'd be talking about here? Shambles. I mean, the Cowboys would be in this thing. They're still in this thing, but they'd be really in this thing if they won that game against Detroit. They lose it. They play the Vikings at home. They get the Chargers at home. Then they go on the road to play the Commanders on Christmas, on the road to play the New York Giants. Dallas could very well run the table. But in peak Cowboys fashion, they could drop 1 or 2 of these games, which obviously would be a gift for the Eagles as well. In the city of Philadelphia, things are always on edge when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll tell you that. Give me a follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, at Chase_Senior. You can find me on all of those social media platforms, giving you even more Eagles content than what we give you here.